Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our 30-minute Thursday, 10 Ways to Engage Facebook Fans. I'm Jamie Matczak with the Nicolet Federated Library System, and I'm actually presenting today. So for better or worse, you're going to hear me talk for the next 25 minutes or so. With me is Bradley Ships at OWLS, and she's going to be monitoring questions and comments in the question box today. So because we only have 30 minutes, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. So right off the bat, I thought it would be good to look at some Facebook stats. And the wording on your left part of your screen, that's actually in millions. So this is from 2008 until 2014. And you can see that it just keeps going up in Facebook users. So if you look at 2012, which is right here where I have my mouse, toward the later end of 2012, Facebook hit 1 billion users, and that number has increased to 1.28 billion users now in 2014, probably even more now. So,
hey, Jamie.
Yes.
Hey, it's Bradley.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing your screen all of a sudden.
Oh,
I'm only seeing your webcam. I'm not seeing your screen. It went away. There we go.
Do you see it now?
I can see it now.
Excellent. Okay. So now you should be able to see the Facebook stats. So on the side is the number of users, and if you look at 2008, which is right at the bottom, the number just keeps going up. So as I said, around 2012 is when they hit 1 billion users, and it just keeps increasing. So personally speaking, I don't have statistics on this, but I would say 7 out of 10 times when I'm corresponding with a colleague or trying to get someone to do a webinar like today, I get a more timely response if I Facebook someone rather than email someone. So I think it's where people are. It's where people are spending time. Maybe too much time, I don't know, but that is just where people are. So why should we engage in social media? It can help us deliver better customer service. If you have patrons or customers at your library who are unhappy about something, you can address that on your Facebook page rather than having them be dissatisfied and telling 10 of their friends, hey, I'm not happy with the library, don't go to the library. It can also help you better manage your reputation. For that reason as well. You can promote things that are going on in your library, and if you're doing it correctly, you're doing it well, it should drive more traffic to your website, and your website should drive traffic to your Facebook page as well. So today what I'm going to do is show an example of a business. Some of them have a lot of Facebook fans, more than, some more than others, of who is doing Facebook really well, why it is great, and how we can apply this idea to libraries. If you have an idea or if something sparks in your mind, let me know that as well, and we can talk about that at the end. So I'm curious to hear what you think too. Okay, so number 1, Roller Jam. So instead of showing you the actual Facebook page, I don't want to clog up the internet with doing that. It's not good for a webinar, so I did a lot of screenshots. And the slides and recording will be shared with you in case I didn't mention that. So a lot of you probably don't know of Roller Jam. That's because it's in Limerick, Ireland. Not a ton of fans. I mean, 3,000 fans would be a lot probably in a library, but compared to some of the things I'm going to show you, relatively a small number. And they basically do lessons and open skating. It's a roller rink. So I was in Ireland for a conference and for some fun about a year ago. I saw this was going on. I saw Roller Jam. I thought it looked fun, and I wanted to go, but I couldn't find a lot of information about their hours on their website, so I found their Facebook page, and I posted them a question. So on the screen is the question that I posted. I just say that my friend and I will be in Limerick. What is the cost to get in? Do you rent 4-wheel skates? And do you sell wine or beer? I'm not sure why I thought the wine or beer was important, but I did read on their site that they do sell it, which I thought sounded really fun. So apparently I had to know. So the person answers, hi, it's 12 euros per adult for 2.5 hours. This is when it runs. We sell wine at 4 euros a glass. I say, awesome. Is it free skate? What do I wear? And then I had a hard time finding it on Google, so I asked her to give, and I know it's a woman because I ended up talking to her at the roller rink. She gave me very detailed instructions on how to get there and what to look out for, what businesses. So I think this is great because she responded to every single question I had. And she could have easily thought, okay, this person doesn't live in Limerick. She lives in Wisconsin. What do I care if these two librarians from Wisconsin visit our roller rink or not? You know, she's really annoying me with her questions. But she didn't. She answered everything. How we can apply this to the library is that one thing we all need to be doing on our Facebook pages is just basic engagement. I read a stat that around 70% of questions that people ask on Facebook go unanswered. 70%. That's a high number, and that's not good. So we need to let people know that we care. We need to let them know that we're being heard, no matter who they are, no matter what they do or where they work. That's the core of public libraries, right? That's what we do. That's where basic engagement begins. Make sure fan questions and comments are being answered. If you don't know something, you respond that you're looking into it, and then you get back to them. So at the very least, we have to make sure we're doing that. So as an aside, the roller jam was very fun. It was very cool, and so that was a cool experience for me using that page. Number 2, Burt's Bees. So most of us have heard of this. They sell health and beauty products, lotions, lip balm. About 2.4 million fans, so quite a few more than Roller Jam. They allow you to buy their products on Facebook, which is kind of awesome, and they also do this employee spotlight series as well, which I think is really neat. One thing that they did just last week, this is from September 15th, you can see, they were celebrating their 30th birthday. So on the screen it says Burt's Bee Day, which is, of course, a clever play on words. But they said we're celebrating the bees. Tag your birthday messages to Burt's Bee Day. That's how we'll get them posted, and that's how the bees can see them. So then they said tune in on the 17th at 4 p.m. to see if Bert, and this is actually Bert of Burt's Bees, reads your message. I think this is great because it shows the face behind the company. It makes a connection. It puts a face with the name. You're going to hear me say connection a lot today, but that is such a big thing with using our Facebook fan page. So how could we apply this idea in the library? Well, your library must have a birthday. It must have an anniversary. What if you invited fans to send you well wishes? And then either your director or if you have a mascot, read those messages. People like hearing what they say. If doing it live would be kind of an issue, you could always have this recorded and then post it. It is so easy to take video now on our smartphones. Every basic camera has a video feature. It's so easy to post these things up to Facebook, up to YouTube. There's really no reason why we shouldn't be doing this or why we couldn't be doing more of this. It's just become so easy. So I think this is a cool way to use that concept. Old Spice. So deodorant, body wash. This has been around a long time. A lot of Facebook fans. And it kind of saw a resurgence a couple years ago with the Old Spice guy. A lot of you probably remember the commercials with the guy. They were pretty funny. So that gave it a resurgence a little bit. What I think Old Spice does really well, just when I was scrolling through their page, is I think they really appeal to their demographics, which is men. If you look at the post from July 21st, it has nothing to do with their product. They are not pushing anything. It's funny. A lot of their posts are memes. They are funny little tidbits like this. They really have nothing to do with Old Spice products. I think it's great because it's showing that they have a personality. It's showing fans that they have a sense of humor. And they're pushing their products without being pushy. So if we were to apply this for the library, I would encourage you to take a look at what you're posting. Not everything you post has to do with a program or a collection or an event. There is nothing wrong with being entertaining. A lot of people are using social media, especially Facebook, for entertainment purposes. People want to be entertained. So if there's something funny or humorous going on in your community, if you see the baby who doesn't stop crying until she hears Notorious B.I.G., post that. People love to see that stuff. They love to be entertained. So don't be afraid to mix in some of those funny bits as well. Number 4, the Milwaukee Brewers. So they are our professional team here in Wisconsin. They did win last night. Might be a little bit too late, though, to make a playoff run. They have almost 1 million fans. They do a lot of cool player and fan features. Anytime a player or a coach has a birthday, they post something on Instagram. They're really big on Instagram as well. They have a big presence on there, and then they post a lot of those pictures on Facebook. So what they did, and maybe they've done it before, but I really just noticed it this year, was they did a promotion leading up to opening day. So they encouraged fans to submit a photo counting down the days to March 31st. So people would use the hashtag #CUMarch31. This one was posted on February 9th. It says, "Get your popcorn ready, 50 days till the Brew Crew takes center stage." So the person who submitted this photo was then submitted in a drawing to win tickets to opening day, plus I think a 10-pack to a series of games, which is pretty cool. Here are 2 more examples. The one on your left are Girl Scout cookies, and the caption said, "In my honor, I will attend opening day in 26 days. The one on your right is our 2 washers forming the number 8, and it said, "It's time to dust off your tailgate games. Opening day is 8 days away." So I found myself going to their page looking at these pictures because some of them were really, really clever. I think it's a great idea because it involves your fans and it also gives them an incentive to win something. So how could we apply this in libraries? Well, do you have an event that you do every year? Is there a fundraiser that people look forward to or is very popular? What about your summer reading kickoff? You could easily do a countdown. Maybe it's not 100 days, but maybe it's 10 days. Encourage fans, your fans, to take a photo and submit it, and then maybe they are entered to win something. If you don't have a lot of money for a prize, maybe their fines are wiped. Maybe, you could think of something really creative, but this would be a really easy thing to do for your fans to take some photos and submit them. All right, number 5, Stella and Dot. They are a jewelry company. They do direct sales, some fine fashion jewelry. They're based in California, approaching almost 400,000 fans. So what they do really well on their page is they do videos and pictures directly to their sellers to show them how a piece of jewelry can be worn. So in this photo, they said, "How would you dress up this tee, left or right?" This person shows us with a statement necklace or a longer pendant. So as you can see, a lot of people liked it, 144 shares. I think it's great because they are giving education and instruction onto how to wear their pieces. So, education and instruction, that's what we do in the library too. If you find yourself having a lot of the same questions, how do I access the catalog? How do I use the library Wi-Fi? How do I use a database? You could create a whole album of how-to videos on your library's Facebook page. If you didn't want to do a video, you could easily do a screencast. Tools like Jing, Camtasia, Screencast-O-Matic all have free features to do short videos that you could post. It also might save your staff time to direct people to these videos instead of always repeating the same procedure. Okay, I'm going to take a quick drink of water. How are we doing, Bradley?
Great.
Okay.
No questions right now.
Okay, great.
I've been answering them. Mostly
Okay.
they're like, that's funny.
That's good. We like to hear that too.
And I love the Old Spice guy. And did anybody see his ice bucket challenge? Because that was awesome.
It was awesome. Okay, number 6, Humans of New York. This was started by a guy named Brandon in 2010 who lost his job in finance. This is a humanities page. It's really cool. He started this page because he wanted to catalog strangers in New York City. So he started taking photos, but then he started talking to them and interviewing them and getting their story. So here's one. This was taken, well, I took it yesterday, so probably on Tuesday. You can go ahead and read the quote that he took for this woman who's from Vietnam. But look at the shares, 2,272. And there were a lot of comments on this photo as well. There were over 160 comments on this photo. So it started as a website. They're now on Facebook. So I love the idea of I love this idea as a website. I love that they're on Facebook, and I love really that they're on Facebook to broaden their audience. So I guess applying the broad concept of this to libraries, what if you did something like a patron of the Brown County Library or a patron of the Ripon Library? You could, maybe you don't have time to do this all the time, but for a month you could feature patrons. Ask them, why do they come to the library? Why, what do they use the most? What is their favorite part? What's their story? Remember that using Facebook doesn't always have to be about pushing your events or your collection or your product or what you're doing. Remember the people who visit. Remember the patrons, because that's what it's about too. So this would be a great way to showcase some of your fans and patrons. Amtrak. So travel train service. Not quite 500,000 fans, 425,000. They really stress good service as well. I also read that Amtrak has, as a company, they have a good personality. And I can attest to this. I recently rode a train on Amtrak. I was riding from Vancouver to Seattle, and it was early in the morning. The conductor came on and gave us a welcome. And then he said, okay, for those of you who use the restroom, the red button is the emergency button, and the blue button is the flush button. So if you are currently pressing the red button, I would ask you to stop. Otherwise, one of our attendants is going to have to come in the restroom and disengage that. So the way he did it, it gave us all a chuckle. He could have been very condescending, but he wasn't. It was actually really humorous. So, their personality really, they have a good personality as a company, and it really does also come through on social media. One way it does that is something similar that they do, like what the Brewers do in fan photos, but what they do is a photo of the week. So in this picture, this was posted September 19th, and they have people take photos using the hashtag Amtrak POTW for photo of the week. They give you 3 choices, and then fans can actually vote on their favorite photo. So if you look, it had 41 shares, and you can't see the comments, but over 300 people voted on their favorite photo. Number 1 was the favorite, which is a pretty cool photo. I think this is great because, again, things like contests, things like competition are great ways to engage your fans and a great way to gain new fans. So if you're looking at this, you're looking at this kid, like let's say his name's Timmy. So you darn well know that, little Timmy's mom and dad is going to share this post with everyone under the sun because they want you to vote for little Timmy's picture. So I just think it's a great way to engage your fans. again, you could do something like this easily at the library if you were doing a sandwich making contest or a singing contest, or let's say in your children's department you give each kid 30 Legos and see what they could build. Take pictures, post them on your Facebook page, and have people vote. And make them vote solely on Facebook so they're forced to go to your page. If people weren't a fan before and they want their kid to win, well, they're certainly going to become a fan now.
Hey, Jamie.
Yes.
We got a question
Sure.
that I think relates to the previous slide. It says, could you explain, well, #, I think, and how to use it. Could you explain hashtags and how to use it? Thanks.
Well, it's like Twitter. Bradley, you might be able to explain it better. It's similar to using Twitter, but now you can use hashtags on Facebook.
Yeah.
Maybe
you want me to try.
Yeah, maybe you can try.
It's a way to, it's kind of like tagging on a blog post or tagging a photo with the person's name. It's a way to tag something with a topic. It's metadata. It's a little bit like cataloging. So if you were to click on the hashtag, you'll see other posts with that same hashtag from different people using the service. And so it's a way of sort of creating a discussion.
Yes. It's used a lot at conferences, so like I'm guessing like usually like for WLA they'll have a hashtag WLA 2014, and that way it'll again when you click on that it'll show all the tweets that came from that. It's also, I've noticed, very popular during TV shows now. A lot of people are tweeting during episodes like, oh, can you believe, especially like for like the, okay, not that I watch, okay, I do watch The Bachelorette, but things like, can you believe she kissed him, you know, stuff like that. So that was a good way to explain it, Bradley. Thank you. Okay, moving on. 8, Bare Essentials, and it is spelled like that. Bare Minerals are health and beauty products, kind of known for their foundation and their mineral foundation. They've been around a while. They started in the 70s, based in San Francisco. Almost approaching 1 million fans. They do a lot of discount codes and coupons on their Facebook page to drive traffic, which is great. Another thing they do really well is that they are very simple in their approach, and they have a very minimalistic approach in that they let their fans drive a lot of their content. So this was taken from their webpage. It says, have a beauty question, and if you look at the last sentence right here, you can visit our Facebook page where users like yourself chime in on the best tips and tricks around. So they really do let their fans drive a lot of what they do. One time they had so much feedback on Facebook about their packaging that they completely changed it. So I mean, talk about fan impact that way. So in the library, I would, again, take a look at your page. Are you encouraging your patrons to post? Are you encouraging them to comment? I know when libraries first started creating Facebook pages, and this was several years ago, and one of the arguments not to was that people said, well, what if they post bad stuff? Or what if they criticize the library? And I said, well, isn't that better to address it then and there than, again, to let those people go tell 20 of their friends not to go to the library? So, you know, ask people to share. Ask them for suggestions. If you do a movie night every Friday and you pick the movie, maybe you post, hey, what do you guys want to see for movie night on Friday? You know, let them decide. Let them share. Let them talk to you. Of course, bad content, you know, anything that's inappropriate, you always have a right to move, and hopefully you have a disclaimer on your page as well that addresses that. But definitely encourage them to post. Okay, Red Mango, we're almost there. Red Mango frozen yogurt started in Texas by a guy named Daniel Kim, started in 2006. Fan base is at about 830,000. They also do a lot of offers on their Facebook fan page, which is great. But one thing that Daniel Kim does well, and I've read a lot about this with him, is that even though he's the founder, he was the CEO, and he did step down, he still controls a lot of the content on the Facebook page. So on your screen is a picture of Daniel Kim with his Red Mango yogurt. And the shot on your right is what I pulled from their Facebook page, and it says, posts are by Dan Kim, Red Mango founder. He does that to connect. He does that to show that he's genuine. Red Mango grew from a single location to 150 locations nationwide in 4 years. And he was asked, what do you think attributed to the growth and to your success? Do you think it was your marketing strategy? Because he's big on using social media, obviously, especially Facebook. And he said, I attribute it to 100% of our success. He said they didn't have a lot of marketing money, a lot of money in their media budget when they started. So they really had to rely on Facebook to bridge that gap between the company and their customers. So that's why I think this is a great idea. So who manages your Facebook page? Is it, do you have a marketing person? For some of your smaller libraries, it might be you as the director, which I think is great too. But I think you need to have a director presence as well, even in a larger library system. If you're a director at a larger library, are you checking out your Facebook page every day or at least every other day? Are you looking at what people are saying? Are you ever posting? Or do you ever post pictures of yourself? I think you need to do that. I think we need to take a step back and think more of like Daniel Kim, be more in that mindset. Not saying hog the attention or take it all away from your staff, but I do think you need to have a presence. I do think you need to be aware of what is being said on your page. Okay, number 10, we're almost there. Checking the time. Okay, we're good. So Disney, McDonald's, Pepsi, well-known brands. I lumped these into 3 categories. They have a ton of Facebook fans. Believe it or not, people are drawn to your page based on the photos and the aesthetics, just like we're drawn to a pretty web page, just like we're drawn to a nice magazine or a nice poster. One thing that they do really well is they have great layouts, and they were known for having great cover photos when the timeline format in Facebook came out. That's the beauty now of Facebook with the timeline feature. Your profile photo should be static. You know, that should typically be like your library logo. Your cover photo should be dynamic. That should change frequently, and that's a really nice feature. So this is the current cover photo for McDonald's. It's pretty, it's clean, it's marketing the coffee with the coffee beans. This was Disney's 2 years ago when Timeline first started, and people loved it because it combined the old and the new. If you're an older person, you love this because you remember. If you're a younger person, you love it because they know what's attracting people to Disney. But it also gives older people a nostalgic feeling. So you can't help but feel good when you see it, and you can't help but want to share it. This is Pepsi's right now. Very simple, but very clean, very bold, very eye-catching. So one thing that we need to do in libraries is to look at our current cover photos. What is it? How often do you change it? I would change it at least once a week, maybe twice. Again, the profile photo should stay the same, but the cover photo is meant to be dynamic and something that changes. I see a lot of library buildings as the cover photo, and I don't know that that's bad. First of all, I guess if your building isn't that pretty to begin with, I wouldn't use it as your cover photo because you want something attractive for your cover photo. And is that your library? I mean, I know physically that's your library, but is that who you are? I would focus more on live events, kids laughing at story time, get their permission. Things in action. What about, your staff hanging up Halloween decorations? Patrons. Who are the faces of your library? Even a staff photo from time to time. Get those behind the scene faces so people can see who is working there. But I think they should be natural. The ones of a donor handing your director a check makes the donor happy, and that's all fine and good, but it's not very interesting. It's not very exciting. That's not your library. So what is your library? Who is your library? And really let that cover photo showcase that. So I just want to share the resources that I use in case you want to read any more about the things that I talked about. And I think we're out of time, but Bradley, if any comments came in about if any I'm curious if any ideas were sparked about anything. I'd be happy to hear that too.
Nope, we've been sort of answering the questions as we go along, so I don't have, oh, here we go, here they come, here they come. Is there someplace to find fun cover photos? Any ideas?
You know, well, like I always recommend taking your own whenever you can. If you're going to use people, get their permission. And the thing is, you can take a decent photo even on your iPhone, especially with the editing features that they have. If you really don't like taking photos, you can go to iStock. FOAP might be another option, FOAP. That's a site where just regular people can upload photos from their phone. And actually, if they use your photo, I think you get paid. But I think it's an inexpensive way to get photos as well. So you might want to check that out, FOAP, FOAP, or iStock. Always has good ones. I don't know if you have any ideas, Bradley, but I always recommend taking your own whenever possible because that's your library. That's your library's page. Again, that's who you are.
Esther had said, oopsie, I got to get it back, that Canva is a good place.
Yes. As far as doing editing?
Canva.com, great place to edit your own cover pictures.
Yes. I would definitely recommend that. Karen talked about Canva in another marketing presentation that we had done. Yeah, Canva, C-A-N-V-A.
Oh, now they're coming in so fast I can't keep up. Okay. Let's see here. And for your cute library humor, check Pinterest. That's from Esther. Canva is awesome. That's from Tara. I love the idea of using Facebook to advertise a library's blind date with a book. You could show photos during the date or let patrons know if it was a good relationship or they had to break up. That's from Brenda.
Oh, I like that. That's really cute.
You could do a bachelor at the library with books. Can we get we'd like to watch it again. Can we get a copy? It's being recorded,
yeah.
So yes, you can.
Yep, it's being recorded, and I'll make sure the email that you get from GoToWebinar will have the link to the recording and the slides.
And then one more question.
That should be sent out later today.
Sorry, Jamie. What is typically covered in disclaimer for the page? Where do you post it?
Bradley, do you know that? Because you taught a class on Facebook. Where do you suggest libraries put that?
So that would be covered. I mean, if it would be covered in your social media policy, which you can post on your website. And then if you have specific things you want to post on your page, I would maybe post it in your About section.
Yes.
You know, it's just in case you do need to delete something and somebody objects, you can point to this is our policy. Chances are they will not have seen it ahead of time because people don't poke around looking for those. But yeah, you don't need to. You don't want to post it on the timeline where it's going to just disappear. No. So probably in your About section.
And if that's something you need help writing, I'm guessing if you put a question out on WisPubLib or if you just look at libraries' Facebook pages, you will find plenty of samples of disclaimers or social media policies. If you're on social media and your library doesn't have one, you probably should have one. And that can be something pretty simple to write up. Probably would want to get board approval on that as well. I could be wrong, but just to be safe.
Another question from Brenda. If you don't get a lot of interaction, is it a no-no to post on your own site to continue the conversation?
So she's saying if patrons want to follow you on your own site?
I think she's saying if you post something and nobody responds, is it okay to respond yourself to keep things going?
Yes, I think so. I've also heard that it's okay that you should actually like your own statuses and posts. When people comment, you should like that stuff because that's all based on algorithms. So, and I've also heard that you should also like your own statuses as too. So yes, I think that's okay. Awesome. Well, I hope you all got some ideas. Again, as I said at the beginning, I think it all starts with basic engagement, just getting back to people and responding. As far as a timeline, I think it's just as soon as you can. Unfortunately, we're connected all the time. People expect quick answers, so the sooner you can get back to somebody, the better. But start with that basic engagement, and hopefully, the things I talked about will inspire a few ideas as well. So thank you for participating, all of you, for joining in. Thank you, Bradley, for monitoring the question box. Apologize for the glitch at the beginning, but we got it all worked out. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. Bye.